Hi, everyone. Great to be here. So I'm supposed to talk about the future of blockchain, how it will change the world. Not an easy topic. So I'll focus on one vertical around finance. I suggest we get to know each other. I tell you how I got into crypto and how we use it day to day at Argent. Maybe to start, who owns any cryptocurrency here? Okay, quite a few. Who think it will change the world? Who think it will make them rich? So a mix. So I'll start with myself. So I'm Itmar. So now we can avoid the part where I repeat 3 times my name. I'm from Belgium, and we avoid the part where you ask me if I'm French. So I live in London. I started my career at Amazon in the UK as a product manager, moved in payment at Visa. At the first startup, we had a very cool homepage. That's as far as it got. At the second startup, that was much more successful. So we're the largest mobile gym for your brain. We got 50 million users, and we sold it 2 years ago. Everyone was pretty happy. But then times for the payment arrives, and we get an OFAC flag. So for those who know, it's the Office of, or don't know, it's Office of Foreign Asset Control. So the US can decide if dollars move or not, wherever they want. We had a call with lawyers and bankers, and it went like that. Like, it was mind-blowing. They explained me that we didn't fill out the right paperwork that shipping companies need to fill. Wasn't very relevant, obviously. So a few weeks of daily phone calls from my investors. At the end, the money arrived. It was just a mistake. So I finally got some money. I buy some Ether, so my first crypto I own. I really bought into the vision of a programmatic blockchain, a world's computer that belonged to everyone or belonged to no one. Transfer these first assets I owned to a hardware wallet. Clunky experience, but it was amazing. I could move money from A to B. Didn't use any third party. There was nothing in the middle, just air, just math and crypto. And my money was moving from an exchange to what looked like a USB stick. And that's the first time I knew. I mean, for me, that was the most amazing new technology I've seen in my life. I think because the web arrived very gradually. To me, I was on BBS, on CompuServe, and then I got my first, I think it was Mosaic at the time. It was very gradual. I was there from one day, I didn't know about crypto. The next day, I could move a large amount of money by magic. So we funded Argent to really bring crypto to the mass market. How do we really bring that to users? How do we allow people to access that new world in a very secure way and a very user-friendly way? So the vision was really the opportunity to recreate the web. So 20 years ago, the web was really about a new decentralized distributed system where anyone could build application. And we saw this as a chance to restart. I think V1 of the web didn't work out exactly as we planned. We don't have a very distributed, decentralized system. We have Facebook, Google. And crypto and blockchain technology was one of the building blocks to recreate a new decentralized web or a new iteration. We don't have to start from scratch, but with value, with ownership, with payment at the core of the protocol. So moving money is the same than moving content or data. So that's the first block of when Bitcoin was mined in 2009. It had a mention about the bank's bailout. So obviously Bitcoin has its roots in cyberpunk, in a lot of political statement behind blockchain. That's actually an area I want to talk about. I think it's a very interesting area. There are people in academia much more fit than me to discuss that, but it's something to keep in mind. What I'm interested in is not, do we need a currency that is not controlled by a government, but is blockchain a new platform, an infrastructure on which we should build on, especially in the field of finance. So maybe one definition, because I talk often about smart contracts, so Ethereum and other programmatic blockchain have the notion of smart contract. It shouldn't be called a contract. Just think about it as a piece of code. You can put money in a smart contract, and that piece of code will set the rules on how that money is handled, what are the criteria for that money to move. So that's really what you need for programmable money, and that's where it gets very exciting. So we suddenly have now a platform on which I can put money and I can run code that is global. Anyone, anywhere in the world can access it. You don't need a bank account, you need an internet connection. It's trustless. I always find that a weird word, but it's always attached to blockchain. It's not that there's no trust, it's that you don't need to trust a third party. It's there, it's the code. You can look at the code, or you know that someone else will have looked at the code. If it's in code, it's low. Nothing can prevent, if the money is in that smart contract and the rules are set in that smart contract, it cannot change. That's the only, you don't need to trust a middleman, a third party. Will he do what he's promised to do with my money? Will he run away with my money? If it's in the smart contract, the rules are set in stone. It's permissionless. So anyone can write code. Anyone can put code, put it there on the blockchain, and it will run. And it can manage money. It might be successful or not. There might be a big network effect or not, but it's permissionless. Anyone can do it. You don't need 55 bank license to run suddenly a small financial service or product. So as a result, people have started building stuff, and the world of open finance or decentralized finance, as you want to call it, has started to take off. We have now 2 million ETH that are in these smart contracts, and that's around $500 million today. So you have $500 million. Blockchain space is much bigger, but 500 million that are within these decentralized applications, just in finance. So that's starts to get interesting. And then I will add one more feature of blockchain that we hear maybe a bit less about, and that's where, in my day-to-day job, I get very excited. It's composability. So I think the simplest way to explain, you take a Lego block. We all love Lego, or when we were kids or still now, and it's awesome. Why is it awesome? We have very simple blocks, all different. And you can build anything. So I can take that blocks and build a Big Ben. I can build something much more complex. So that's composability. You take blocks, and they all can fit together one way or the other. And that's, for me, one of the most interesting features of Ethereum for finance as a platform. So now, some example on how concretely we use it at Argent. You can think about Argent as the next generation of wallet for crypto. My TV doesn't work, so let's look here. So you have a smart contract that handles secure loan. Actually, you have several. Maker, Compound, two organizations that build this. I lock an asset, and then I can take, let's say, dollar out of it, tokenized dollar. Anyone can use that smart contract, anyone can plug to it. There's a lot of money in this, so there's liquidity. At Argent, in our mobile app, we said, okay, let's use that, and now our users can borrow against their assets or earn interest on their assets. That's like having a public API. It's really like integrating a new web service. It's a bit different in the crypto space, but it's really there, it's public. No one can prevent me from using it. And suddenly now I offer secure loan or interest to my users. Then we thought, okay, what about exchange? So there are smart contracts to handle that. So you want to swap assets. I can take dollar, so this is a tokenized dollar, and I can exchange it to ETH. And again, there are several services, totally open, transparent, decentralized. Kyber, Uniswap are two of them. So now in Argent, you can exchange assets. You have ETH, you want dollar, or you want exposure to any other crypto assets, you exchange them. Again, like an API, we have integrated that. I would say it should have taken us years in the traditional finance space. Here we are talking weeks. Just open, permissionless, trustless. So when we think exchange, people think about all these currencies, but that platform Uniswap, what they showed as a demo is we can exchange anything. So they tokenize stocks. What they did is basically they created coupon. If you have that coupon, you can buy a stock. And so anyone can create a market. And they say, okay, I will put dollar against stocks, and now people buy stocks. It started at $12, but of course, I think there were 500 stocks, so there's scarcity. Once people bought a few hundred socks, then the sock started to cost $50, $100, then people would sell them, it would stabilize. So again, in a matter of days, someone created a completely new market. So anything that you can tokenize, you can put in this smart contract. So it can go beyond this cryptocurrency. It can be existing assets in our existing space world. So I would say that was, for me, mind-blowing. I could take this service. Again, it was the second moment where I could integrate, the whole world was open. I could just look at all this service and decide what I put in our app. What gets more exciting is now you can do more with this. So our engineer thought, hey, we have no secure loan, but we have also an exchange. So why don't we connect these things? So as a user, you don't notice that, but you have $100 worth of Ether. We do a secure loan, so you get some dollar out of that. So the ETH is your collateral, you get dollar. But because we have an exchange now, we connect it, we exchange it back to ETH. We put it back in the loan. We do that loop 3 times. You have margin trading. I mean, I didn't know what was margin trading. I wouldn't even know how to start building margin trading. Here, in a matter of days, we can create margin trading completely trustless. You don't need to trust anyone with your loan. The rules are in the smart contract. There is no counterparty risk. It's and again, we created that. Doesn't exist anywhere else. And now anyone else could decide to use these building blocks, this new product that we created on top of these building blocks. And for me, that's really it's something we use. It's something we build. We are building at Argent. And we can innovate in a matter of weeks what would have taken years in the traditional legacy system. I actually don't think we would have had the ability to do it from a license perspective and many other rules. And what's even more exciting is there are a lot of these building blocks. So most of these little icons there are building blocks I can use to create new services. I can't even start thinking what I would build next. It's really limitless innovation. Again, like Lego blocks, you can do anything you want. Obviously, we're not yet there. There are problems to solve around crypto. So we talk a lot about regulation. Actually, I don't think that's the hardest, and it's getting there. The US, the UK, or Europe in general are aware of it, of the need for regulation. They are putting proposals out there. There are discussions happening. At the end, it's just another type of assets, and a lot of the rules of the legacy world can apply there. We don't want money laundering. We don't want theft, etc. Usability. So if you have crypto, you might have written your private key on a piece of paper. It's a nightmare. It's clumsy. I would say this is solved. We solved it at Argent. We still need 1 billion people to be aware of Argent, but the technology is there. It can be as easy to manage as any banking app or your Revolut app. Privacy. BlockChain is completely public. This will take a few more years, but again, there are solutions starting to emerge. Governance. A lot of these projects are completely open source. They don't belong to a company. So how do you manage this project? It's a big topic in the space. And then scalability. You probably cannot put 1 billion users on the blockchain right now. You can already put billions of dollars worth of assets, but there's still more work to be done. But again, research has progressed, and it's just a matter of time before it's ready. But I would say, I think, just to re-summarize, that we are getting closer to a super open, transparent financial system. It is efficient. I can take my phone and transfer $1 billion to someone else now in 5 seconds, and it would cost me 1 or 2 cents. I do not have that $1 billion in crypto, but if I had, I could. Anyone in this room in the world can build a new financial product, and that's insane, and put it out there. Anyone can access it. There is no border, anyone. And for me, the summary is permissionless innovation. Today, there is no permissionless innovation in finance. With crypto, anyone can innovate. You don't need to ask permission. And there will be a regulation to make sure there are less scams and less opacity in the space. But really, permissionless innovation for me is the key. Also, I think people think about crypto as a very complex thing, so I thought I would illustrate a quick demo of how Argent looks and feels. Crypto doesn't need to be complex. Let's see if the video runs. So obviously a shameless plug, so you all download Argent, but it's really to illustrate it doesn't need to be scary. Right now it's still an app that you would use if you want to get into crypto. I would say a year from now, my mom should be able to use Argent to put dollars without knowing it's crypto behind, to get an interest rate on that, and it will be easier than in the traditional banking world. And I think that's where the future is heading, into that space. So I think, if you want to know more, I think go on argent.xyz and download Argent. That's the best way to live that revolution. Follow us at Argent HQ. If you want to discuss more, I'm on Itmar L on Twitter. And happy to discuss with anyone interested in working in that space. So a big part of Argent is enabling third-party dApps, so being a gateway for them. And also, if there are engineers in the room, we are hiring Android, Java backend. It's a big priority for us. Anywhere in Europe. So if you are based in Slovenia, it's great for us. We have already team members here. And really, any questions? I'm here. Thank you.
Any questions is my magic cue word for us to switch to Slido. There we go. How long until blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies enter basically everyone's daily lives? Exact dates, please.
So it's a good question. I think things tend to go much slower than we tend to be very excited about a new tech at the beginning, and then we underestimate how much impact it can have. And AR is a good example. We talk about AR for a while, and suddenly now it's happening. So I think in a year from now or 2 years from now, we will have abstracted all the complexity. So Argent is decentralized, yet you don't manage private keys, you don't pay gas fees, you don't back up things on a piece of paper. You still see it's crypto. I would say a year or two from now, you will not see it's crypto anymore. Then we'll need to start to add even more value. We need to bring that innovation so that people say, okay, I will use Argent rather than my banking app. So you will have mass market use case, I believe, in a year, 2 years from now. But it will still need to bridge the world of traditional finance and crypto. I think for not having traditional finance where your shop, your salary, everything can use crypto as a platform, I'm afraid we'll have to wait a few more years.
22nd of May, 2021.
Yes, let's make a deal. I come back.
Okay, we got you on that one. Good man. Do you think that Ethereum 2.0... Okay, no. Is the Peak app really helps to train your memory skills?
So, good question. I've been trained for years to not say anything about that. We never marketed the app on pure health because we didn't want to make false claims. So we built it as a very healthy, good-for-you entertainment. And then in parallel, we started a lot of research with university. We worked with Cambridge, King's, with universities across Europe. So we have had positive research showing that it can show early signs of dementia. We have had positive research for things like schizophrenia. Recently, so I'm still, my ex-co-founder running it. I still see news and research showing up, but honestly, you still have research that show it doesn't help much, and you have research, even 2 weeks ago, you had a new research showing it has an impact. My view is, honestly, I guarantee, when we created it, it was people are wasting their time on Facebook, on Candy Crush. What I guarantee you is that it's better. Just moving away from this crap time, you are wasting minutes of your life, to this is healthy, and that's really the positioning I had at the time.
Good, so it's better than Facebook. Do you think that Ethereum 2.0 will fix the scalability issues and help for mass adoption and really usable apps?
So I actually think we can fix scalability before. There are solutions, what we call layer 2 solutions. So if you adapt that really was so good that so many people wanted to use it, you could fix it before. Ethereum 2.0 is a big step in that, but it will take time. I think we're talking at least another 2 years. But yes, I think with sharding, scalability issues will be solved in big part, but you will still need this layer 2 solution. Layer 2 things about the fact that you don't need to settle a payment every minute on the blockchain. When you make a payment with a card of a bank, it might take 24 hours to be settled, but you will have guaranteed that the money is moving. So there are solutions for that. I don't think it will impact usability. I think we will solve usability.
Anonymous wants to know, what are the main threats of blockchain?
Can the person specify that question? Threat to blockchain or threat?
Of blockchain. That's
I think the main risk is, I mean, do we succeed on scalability? I'm not too worried about that. Will regulation try to hinder progress there? But I don't think we should be scared of blockchain. I don't think we should be scared of fraud. There were 2 billion something card fraud just in Europe last year. In the world, it must be a much bigger number. If you include bank transfer, a much bigger number. So I don't think we should feel threatened by blockchain.
Next question is, wait, there's no need of the internet for using cryptocurrency.
I think it just makes payment and transfer of value frictionless. So there are different type of needs. I think first we take a lot of things for granted, that we have very solid banks that will guarantee payment, or that our assets are safe, that our currency will not be undervalued. I think the past years have showed us that the world is pretty screwed up. There are countries where the money is just worthless. The entire continent where transferring money is not possible. So I think there are needs. And then for the vision of an Internet 2.0, it's just that you can suddenly transfer money seamlessly. You can also prove ownership seamlessly. So it doesn't, you could build apps around your land registry suddenly because you have proved your ownership, or take a loan on your car instantly because you have tokenized its ownership. So I think it's just, it will open a new wave of applications.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We've run out of time. We could listen to you all day. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.